Hello, and welcome back to another edition of Hobby News Daily Hot Corner. I'm Danny Black, and I'm joined by Ray Schulte. And if you don't know who Ray is, then you just need to get to a national or two because he is the Reggie Jackson of the National, the straw that stirs the drink. Uh, Ray, how are you today?
Danny, thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, you and I forget how many years we've known each other now, but it's always a pleasure. And, I think you do a great job. So I figured we'd have a little bit of fun before all the real work starts. For me, anyhow, I know you've been going at it.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
okay. So I know we have a bigger floor space this year. I know the autograph list is amazing. I've heard rumors about the corporate area. What are you most excited for this year's national?
Well, I honestly, very honestly, I'm excited that my son's coming back.
Okay. I thought you were going to say the Wi-Fi.
No, I mean, no, my son has been helping me at the national for the last couple of years, and so anytime, and he loves it. And so for me, it's all collecting is all about creating memories, right? Well, this show creates memories for me with my son. And you asked me, and I was honest with you, that's the first and foremost thing that I think about. That not only will we be together, but we'll be able to share so many experiences, meeting people, seeing exhibits, participating in dinners, all that kind of stuff. It's a bonding that no father could dream of. So that is the most important thing to me. On a professional side, it's the fact that the industry is at such a level right now. I've never experienced anything like this, to tell you the truth. In the 13 nationals, and by the way, I started in Baltimore in 2010. That was my first official segue into the national from a working standpoint. But the fact that we've increased space from 400 to 600,000, that's 200,000 square feet. You can't imagine it until you see it. And then also too, I think this is the largest athletes grouping that we've ever had too. It's 150 plus athletes. TriStar does a fantastic job, and so it's kind of like the perfect storm for us. We've got so many things going on. I, for the first time, had actually had to really consider signing NDAs because there's so much stuff that are going to be breaking at the national that I can't even talk about it until we get to the national. I've never had that before. And, the fact is that when we expand from 400 to 600, Danny, we still have a waiting list of up to 100 exhibitors to get in. So, that kind of gives you some kind of perception in terms of, how the industry has grown. And, I know we only have a short time. I could talk about this all day, Danny, but the short
Yeah.
time is we've got people coming from all over the world. And we have 100 people coming in just from London in one group coming in from London. And so I've been on texting and emailing and doing so many things with our international group now. People, our friends from Canada who've always attended the show are now exhibiting at the show, and they're coming down and they're saying, "Hey, we got to have some Canadian parties. We're going to party. We're going to come down there. We're going to show our Canadian strength and all that."
So do I need to bring the Labats? The Labats is that.
If you bring the Labatt's, you'll make a lot of friends. I
Yeah.
guarantee it.
Well,
So
maybe instead of the national, we're the international now.
you know what? It's we've got people coming in from Japan, Taiwan. God, they're from all over the world, and that speaks volumes in terms of what we're doing. I love the fact that we were able to expand to 600,000 square feet
Yeah.
because we have so much new technology in the industry and new companies that obviously the new companies can't get into the national because obviously we've been sold out for all these years. With the addition 200,000 square feet, we're able to get these companies into the national, and therefore provide, all the attendees, and we're thinking about up to 100,000 attendees, the opportunity to experience what's happening now, what's happening in the future. And that's the exciting part. That's very exciting.
Well, I've heard lots of rumors about the potential for this year's attendance, so I'm not going to put you on the spot, but let's just cross our fingers. And I think at the end of the national, we could be hearing some very exciting numbers.
Well, I'm excited about it too, and I look at it that with the extra 200,000 square feet, we can fit more people in, right? So that's the
absolutely
that's the way I look at it.
Okay, so what's the most common question you get about the national? I mean, I made the Wi-Fi joke, which is low hanging fruit. What is the most common question you get about the national?
Oh wow, where can I go to rest?
That's a great question. maybe it's the veteran who packs all my extra shoes, and just scouts out the chairs early. But that's a great question.
No, I mean, but this year we're fortunate. Ludex is going to have a lounge, and I think GTS is going to have an opportunity to rest and all that. But I think that it's the question is really, how do in their own mind really how do I work this floor? You think about it. It's not, it's funny. I was telling somebody the other day, it's not that you just keep walking straight. That's the thing that people don't understand. You're walking, take a step left, take a step right, go left, go right, straight. That is tiresome, and you think about it with those aisles being as tight, not the aisles have good distance, but the people in them it's just like shoulder to shoulder. So that's the thing I think is the most frustrating or challenging thing for most people is that, how do I make it through a day? And I basically just say, listen, if you're knowledgeable about the hobby, think out a plan. Where do you want to go? This year is actually pretty fascinating in the sense that we have a much bigger pop culture presence. TCG, Pokemon is going to be the biggest it's ever been. All right. And that's great because that kind of expands the industry. But again, if that's something that's interesting, you can go to our website and look at all the exhibitors and kind of pinpoint where are they, and create a plan. You want to go to the corporate area probably first because that's where, the manufacturers are, where the auction houses are, the graders are. And experience that first, and then branch out.
Let's be honest, a lot of the giveaways too.
A lot of the giveaways, absolutely. You'll find a lot of kids, and this year too. I mean, you find a lot of moms and dads and brothers, sisters, grandpas, grandmas, and so it's good. Yeah, I would suggest going to the corporate area, and then in the corporate area, if you see something that you like, ask them, where do I go? Who has that product? Who's the best person to talk to? Let them guide you. And then because you don't want to be on the floor just walking around haphazardly, because you'll be frustrated. And at the end of the day, you're going to say, wow, I didn't really get to see what I wanted because you wasted a lot of time. So use your time smart.
Yeah, I tell people it's like walking into a Costco or a Super Walmart hungry. If you don't have a plan, you're just going to wander and you're going to want a little bit of everything, because it's so much fun. So you definitely, have a plan. I like that. Okay, now you raised you lead me into my next question. There is going to be walking involved. This is not Disney World. This is not a ride.
We don't have trams.
There are no trams. So the question is do you wear a watch and count your steps, or do you not even bother?
I don't. My son does.
Okay.
He thinks that's really fascinating. And he'll do it again this year too. And I can't remember what the steps were last year in Atlantic City, but if you see him on the floor, you can ask him because he'll be step counting, and I'm sure a lot of other people do it too. I look at it as my normal workout. Okay,
Right.
I don't look at it as a challenge. I look at, hey, you know what? I was gonna put in the mileage anyway, so I might as well doing something I really enjoy.
Right. You're
And
just going to
so,
do a legs day for a week.
yeah, just change your mindset for a day or two. Just look at it that way. You do the same thing. When you rush to the airport, you don't think the negative. You think, hey, I just had a great workout today.
Well, that's funny. I joked around last year. I don't work out enough because when I was walking around the National, my watch started asking me if I was a new user.
But you know what, Danny, though, I'm giving something away here, but I actually work out for the National.
Yes. I, you know what? That's hysterical. I literally took a walk around downtown Baltimore today, around the harbor, just to start getting a
Yeah,
loosened up and getting.
yeah. I'll go out and I'll climb the mountains. I'll ride my bike. I'll do the swimming. I'm actually in a routine right now leading up to the National, because I know that I don't want to be in a position when I get to the National where I'm lagging or I can't do something that I want to do. So it's not going to be because I'm not physically fit. And it's not going to be because I'm not mentally, in tune there. It's going to be just because it's just that overwhelming. But I'll be in shape when I get there.
Okay, well, if I need oxygen, I know who to go to. Who was your favorite players growing up?
Wow, that's a good question. I was a catcher in high school and college, and as a little kid. So my favorite players were Thurman, and I didn't really see a lot of them, but Thurman Munson, Elston Howard were two of the guys that I really looked up to. Jerry Grody was another guy that I watched, and then Manny Sanguine. I loved the way he played the game. There's a lot of guys, and of course Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris and then other guys within the league. But those are the guys that I really looked up to. Back in those days, Danny, we didn't travel a lot. We basically, I lived in upstate New York, and we maybe got to the Yankee Stadium maybe once, twice a year, if that. So we watched a lot of television, played a lot of ball outdoors.
Oh, I remember growing up. This Week in Baseball on the weekends was how I learned
Mhm.
with Mel Allen. When they used to go around and give you all the highlights. That's how I learned about the National League because
Yeah.
there wasn't interleague play back then, kids.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned Mel, because Mel was the one guy when you ask somebody who do you want to meet, Mel was the one guy that I wanted to meet, and I finally got to meet him before he passed away. But yeah, I used to listen to him every Saturday morning when he used to do high school games up in New York,
Oh,
and I didn't care about the high school game. I loved listening to him do a game.
that's
And
so
so,
crazy.
yeah, he was the best. I mean, I wish someone like him was still around, but that's not the case anymore.
Well, in Baltimore, I know a lot of people still have an affinity for John Miller,
Mm.
and he's now out in the Bay Area. So who
There's a
knows?
legend. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a great question, and I'll start asking you about this, and I please don't jump through the camera at me. Next year's national. When is it too early to start planning? Because I hear people tell me that on Sunday and Monday they start making phone calls for next year's national. Is that?
Oh.
Like I hate to even bring up next year already to you. That's why I said please don't jump through the computer at me. But can you wait 6 months? I'm feeling peer pressure.
No, you don't have to worry about that, Danny. Actually, for me, it's kind of bittersweet because even though this is the last year of the current management for National, the new management comes in right after the show's finished. And fortunately, they've asked me to stay on, which was something that that really kind of got to me, because they didn't have to do that, but they asked me to stay on. So I'm actually really looking forward to Cleveland. I really am, and their mindset is such that, given somebody like me, what I'd like to do, like I like to accomplish, they are like right in my breadbasket. No, we were on the same page. So you'll see next year so many things that are different. Now for this year, it's going to be an excellent, fantastic show. Next year is going to be even better. So, but to answer your question, yeah, a lot of people get prepared like the day after. Exhibitors at the show, they'll meet like Thursday morning. They have a meeting for then they vote on where the next national is going to be at that meeting. But they'll get their booth assignments, and people start right away. The hotels, and it's never too early to get planning for the next national. And Cleveland will be just as good. And the other thing is there's kind of a myth. I mean, as strong as the hobby is, will be as great as the national is, but I think given next year, we want to take it to a whole new level. And so we're excited about that.
Well, from the little bit I've heard, it's going to, we've heard the expression 10 timing the market. I've heard it's going to be 10 timing the national. So, so on your advice, I will plan Cleveland early.
Yes.
And as long as nobody ever sees this, I'll be the only one who knows that. So, all right, Ray, give everybody all the details if they may not know for this year's national, and if they're heading to Chicago. The show is actually open Wednesday to Sunday. Is that correct?
Yeah, it opens July 26th. It opens to the general public, the soft opening, from 4 to 8 p.m. Our VIPs are earlier in the day. And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be a great show. If you have the opportunity, you're attending, check out Rosemont Village. Go to Rosemont Village website, because there's so many things to do just a walk away from the convention center. Restaurants, bowling alleys, outdoor concerts, baseball park there, the minor league. There's so many things. So check out Rosemont Village. And you can also check out the national website, nsccshow.com. We have a list of the exhibitors there. We have all the times, and you can purchase tickets, all the above. And then finally, follow us on Instagram, NSCC Show. We'll be having so many different updates and activities, and you'll hear it first on our Instagram platform. So we hope you can make it. It's going to be one heck of a show. As many say, epic. So we're hoping you can make it.
Well, I'll vouch for that, and I like, my favorite saying is, if you can't find it at the national, you can't find it anywhere.
You know who said that? You know who started that?
No, who's the original?
Mike Burkus.
Oh, of course.
Mike Burkus is saying all the time, and I'll never forget it. Mike was one of those guys, Danny, that when the phone rang, I picked it up. I actually ran to pick it up, because he was such a visionary, such a creative person. And his best attribute was the fact that he listened to you. He may disagree with you, but he'll let you talk it through, let it out, and then he'll give his reason why it may or may not work. But when he was out there and he had your back, you knew he had your back. And God, I miss him. But that was another thing. If you're going to the show, check out the Mike Burkus main stage.
Yep.
So much content, all 5 days. It's one of the places you got it, and you know what? You can sit down there too. So there's chairs.
And I was about to say, I think I'm going to be up there part of it. So if you have insomnia, find out when I'm talking. And so, well,
that's great,
Ray. I really appreciate it. Every year we get to catch up, and next year we'll do the 6-month interval, and we'll catch you, in between cycles.
All right. Well, Danny, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you very much for having me on.
Thank you, my friend. Take care.
All right.
Everybody else, we'll see you next time on Hobby News Daily Hot Corner.